Hey friends, it's Allison here, jumping in real quick before you get into all the juicy details of today's episode. Did you know there is just one more week left to our 200th episode giveaway where you have the chance to win a full ride scholarship to the Better Belly Blueprint? This is the way to heal your gut so that you can poop daily, ditch acid reflux, and balance your hormones even when nothing else has worked. Here's how you can enter. Leave a rating and review on the Better Belly podcast on Apple Podcast or Spotify between now and May 29th. Take a screenshot of that rating and review, then go to betterbellytherapies.com/giveaway and fill out our 200th episode giveaway form. You will automatically receive an email with a code for $200 off the Better Belly Blueprint, which you're going to get as soon as you send in that form. And then a full scholarship winner is going to be announced on May 30th and messaged by email. If you win, you're going to win a full scholarship to the Better Belly Blueprint. And if you don't win, you can still get $200 off, which is 20% off of the Better Belly Blueprint if you join by May 31st at midnight. So go ahead and leave a rating and review. Get that giveaway form filled out at betterbellytherapies.com/giveaway, and you can finally end your constipation, acid reflux, and PMS for good. This week, I hosted my workshop, the Clear Your Constipation workshop, on Monday and Tuesday. It's done now, as of this recording, but I wanted to share with y'all a clip of a Q&A call I had with my VIP workshop attendees on Tuesday. In this call, I answered any questions our workshop attendees wanted to ask me. They ended up asking a lot of interesting questions, so I wanted to share it with you guys here on the podcast. I'm calling this episode a sneak peek inside the Better Belly Blueprint because while it's actually a call with my VIP workshop attendees, this call honestly feels a lot more like one of my group coaching Q&A calls that I have in my course and group coaching program every other week. The questions we cover inside this episode are: is there ever a time you don't recommend treating H. pylori? What labs should I order for migraines, constipation, and acid reflux? Why are my liver enzymes high, and is there anything I can do about it? What is the difference between the MRT and Zoomer food sensitivity tests? What does it mean when a food sensitivity test says I'm sensitive to a food, but I don't notice feeling bad when I eat that food? If I go through a detox and get a headache as I detox, can I take medication for that headache? And can I stop doing some of my detox methods while on vacation? We did all of these questions in less than 17 minutes. Woohoo! You don't need a lot of time to get massive breakthrough and clarity in your health. And I hope this call proves it to you. If you're ready to finally find the source of not only your bloating and constipation, but also headaches, migraines, acne, eczema, UTI, sinusitis, fibromyalgia, and more, listen to this episode. But also join my course and group coaching program, the Better Belly Blueprint. In this course, I teach you how to end bloating and constipation for good through functional lab testing, a customized health plan that I teach you how to build yourself, rad science, and daily support through our members-only Facebook group and bi-weekly group coaching call. If you're listening to this podcast wanting to find the secret to ending your bloating and constipation, if you want to stop wasting money on constipation remedies that don't work, just go to betterbellytherapies.com/blueprint or click the links in the show notes. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hey friend, welcome to the Better Belly podcast. Do you want freedom from bloating and constipation? Do you find yourself up late at night Googling natural constipation remedies, causes for bloating, or recipes and exercises to help constipation? Are you frustrated with the mind game of trying to figure out what foods are helping or hurting your gut? Hey, I'm Allison, mom, wife, and functional gut health practitioner. At a young age, bloating and constipation were my constants. I didn't know what to do and wished I could just live a normal life focusing on my passions, my job, and my family. I was tired of abdominal pain that woke me up at night and wasting time and money on gut health remedies that just didn't work. Breakthrough moment, the functional medicine and osteopathic approach to gut health. In this podcast, you will find natural remedies for bloating and constipation, practical, doable belly exercises and massages, and debunk the myths about what really is causing your tummy problems. So toss out those laxatives and say goodbye to that embarrassing gas. Your gut health is calling. And just as a reminder, this information is not meant to diagnose, manage, or treat disease. Always consult with your own health practitioner before you make any changes to your health.
And I don't want to monopolize your time, but I did have a question about H. pylori. Is there ever a time that you see H. pylori show up on a GI map and you don't recommend treating it? Because mine was low, but it was there and I didn't treat it.
Oh, yeah. No, in my
And now my
experience,
stomach acid is I don't know what my stomach acid was before, but it's bad now.
right.
It's not
So
good now.
I always recommend doing an H. pylori protocol if it shows up on the GI map at all. It's like a functional medicine thing. What we're finding is you take people who don't feel good and you add H. pylori in, it's not helping you. The reason why H. pylori can have like low results is there is like research where the main research is based on is like we've done some like large population study. America's done some large population studies and just taken people and tested if they have H. pylori, and they have all these people who are more or less asymptomatic that have it. So then they said it's only a problem at a certain level, but that's not necessarily fair to the fact that maybe not everyone responds to H. pylori the same way. Or what if there's H. pylori and mold? Is it possible that the H. pylori is a problem? And what if you want to up your stomach acid, but that might actually make H. pylori stronger and could send it into a flare? Like, yes, always deal with it.
Allison, this is Ada. Can you hear me? Okay. I have a really quick question.
Yeah.
So my main problems are constipation,
Yeah.
acid reflux, which I discovered when I went to my ear, nose, and throat because I had a cough that wouldn't go away.
You had like
And
kind
he
of
just said to me, "Have you considered that?" And I said, "Oh my God, I never even thought about it." So that and the headaches. So I've had headaches all my life.
Okay.
They're better now that I'm older and postmenopausal. But what tests should I order? What would be my top priority?
So GI map, HTMA.
Okay.
Have you done any food sensitivity testing?
I have, while in Italy, in Spa, they did a blood, drawing, and I am allergic to certain things or sensitive to certain things.
I would probably do a Zoomer test just because
Okay.
it's going to be more thorough. It's going to clear up some like question marks of like, should I eat that or not? I'd like clarity. I
Okay.
think it takes out some like crazy feel we can feel. I would
Okay.
honestly lean towards a Dutch test with you, Ada.
Mm-hmm.
Because the hormone test, because anytime someone says I had all these symptoms and when I got menopausal, they got better,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times there's still a lot of hormone cleanup that needs to happen. And I would
Okay.
love to see, like I have actually seen a lot of postmenopausal women who, when they have all these other symptoms in their life, they have really high estrogen because the estrogen can't detox out of their body. And it's crazy. It's just like hanging out. And so I think I would like to see that. Now, if you're trying to have a lab you're not going to do, maybe not the Dutch, like if you're trying to minimize costs or something, but honestly, I would really like to see the Dutch.
No, I would definitely want to do a Dutch. So Dutch,
Yeah.
Zoomer, and then GI.
Yeah, GMAP and HTMA, all the four main ones I recommend.
Okay.
You said headaches, constipation, and
Acid reflux.
reflux.
So today with the test, sorry?
Do you have any problems with headaches or like for dizziness? Not headaches, dizziness or vertigo, lightheadedness?
I do.
Okay. O test. O test.
I'm sorry. What test?
The organic acids test. It's the fifth
Oh,
test.
no. Okay, we'll do. I'll do them all.
And the reason I say that is one of the most common things, unfortunately, that I've seen dizziness connect with is mold toxicity. And a lot of times it's just like this very, like I've done this a lot, but I have found that like when clients have all these like same symptoms as you, but you don't have dizziness, mold is very infrequently involved. But when you have all your symptoms that you just described and dizziness or like vertigo, lightheadedness is involved, mold is much more likely to be there.
I see. Okay, good to know.
Good question. So I'm glad you guys are here. It's like these are like bonus bi-weekly group coaching calls.
I know.
Everybody else is missing out.
I have another question. So my main thing is in terms of my liver, every time I have a metabolic liver panel, I always have an elevated AST.
Yeah.
It's at 61.
Yeah.
And ALT is now normal, 22, but it was at 73 a few years ago.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, your liver's congested, like huge.
Mm.
Again, remember, it's not a diagnosis. It is
Yeah.
a description of the liver not functioning optimally. And so
Yeah.
high cholesterol, high liver enzymes, those are both big signs of liver congestion. And of course, you have
Yeah.
the symptoms that match it. Symptoms being constipation, acid reflux. I'm curious,
Yeah.
like, do you have, how's your sleep? Do you sleep okay?
No, not really. So I do wake
Yeah,
up
you're
in the
like,
middle of
no.
the night. So when that actually prompted me to be serious, as soon as I heard you say that,
Yeah.
the reason you wake up in the middle of the night is because your liver is trying to
Oh.
to cleanse yourself. So yeah, so it kind of all falls like a puzzle. It falls
Yes.
all together.
Ada,
So yes,
it's all together. You're seeing the picture. And I hope this makes you
yes,
like ridiculously excited for the whole
yes.
program, because I touch on all of this in the actual solution. So
Okay, that sounds good. I'm excited.
me
Okay.
too. Like, this work changes people's lives, y'all. Tara, do you have another question?
Can you talk about, I've done the MRT before and I
Oh,
did
yeah.
sign up for the Zoomer. Can you
Okay.
talk about like what the difference is? Like
Yeah.
some of my results on the MRT, I felt like really tracked, like I was in the yellow for coconut. And if I hit the coconut too hard, I get a rash around my mouth. So it tracks. But some of them I was like, that doesn't make any damn sense.
Yeah. So the MRT is a food sensitivity test that's based on leaky gut. What it does is it tests your white blood cells, and they take a food serum that's like, say, coconut, and they introduce it to the blood that you gave to the lab. And then if your blood volume increases, what it means is that your white blood cells have like broken up and attached the coconut, right? And right, but the only way that that happens is that coconut ended up getting into your bloodstream in a format it shouldn't have, which is only via leaky gut. So leaky gut is your gut lining breaks down, things float past it and into it, and then like something happens, and your white blood cells are like, what's this coconut doing here? And it attacks the coconut. And then your immune system says, next time that coconut comes down our gullet, we're going to attack it faster. Right. So the MRT shows you food sensitivities you actually develop. And the interesting thing about these things is that if you get rid of the leaky gut, you undevelop that sensitivity. They're what I call temporary sensitivities. The Zoomer
Gotcha.
has a portion of the test that is for temporary food sensitivities, but the other half of it is permanent. It's protein peptides. So it takes like peptides. They're like broken down versions, say like corn or something. Corn's not all one molecule. It has like corn on the outside and the corn germ and the corn seed and the corn skin, whatever. There's all this portion of corn. And you might be sensitive to the germ, but not the skin, blah, blah, blah. That you might actually be sensitive to corn, but not through your leaky gut, not through like a white blood cell mediated response. You might be sensitive through protein peptide response, which is permanent. Like your body just always is going to hate that.
Gotcha.
Now, that's what makes the Zoomer better. So half of the Zoomer is going to be like an updated version of your MRT, because the MRT is even the lab is explicit. Those results will change as you are doing different things. And that's because you're like shifting the variables in your gut and all these things are going on. So what's interesting when you say, the other thing that you just brought up is like, oh, well, I clearly can tell I eat certain foods and something bad happens. There are foods we can be sensitive to we don't get immediate, direct symptoms with. Or we get symptoms that, like, I had a client who is super sensitive to wheat, but she's like, but I eat wheat every day. And like, I don't feel worse when I eat it. But I'm like, but you eat it every day. You know, like that's one thing. And once she got off it 3 months and got rid of H. pylori and dealt with her heavy metals and basically started healing her body, then when she ate wheat the one time it was her birthday and she had a beer, she felt like shit the next 3 days. She was like, oh, I shouldn't eat wheat.
Oh,
That's why I felt like shit all the time, because I ate it
yeah.
all the time. So that can be one thing, or another thing can just be like, it's like a buildup. It's like when you get buildup of calcium around your faucet. Maybe when you turn on your faucet, your water looks clear and clean, but you have a high amount of calcium in it. And just by repeated use, on and off, on and off, on and off, that calcium builds up. And it's the same thing. If you just keep repeating to eat that food that's a problem, it's going to up your inflammation chunk by chunk by chunk by chunk by chunk. And I see that wheat being another example of that. But Yeah, so definitely you don't need to have these sudden, immediate, obvious symptoms to be sensitive to something and it truly being a part of your problem.
Interesting. Okay. That's helpful. I mean, I ordered the test because I was like, I don't eat wheat on purpose, but and I try to avoid corn, and I know quinoa and I do not get like the last time I had a little bit of quinoa, I felt like absolute garbage for several weeks. Like I looked pregnant the next morning,
Oh.
and I was like, that's out. I'm never trying that again.
Yeah. It'll be interesting when you get your Zoomer test where, because there's a quinoa test in it for,
Mhm.
I know for in the permanent side, I think maybe in the temporary side, it'll be interesting if it shows up. Because the other
Yeah.
thing is sometimes a test is just not testing the markers that are going berserk and it might even come up negative, but you're like, if you feel bad on it, don't eat it. So that's like where food
Yeah.
sensitivity testing is not perfect. Your immune
Mhm.
system is like in the US, we have different protective systems. We have like the FBI and the police and like the Marine Corps and the Navy,
Mhm.
right? But the FBI, if you ask them how many car accidents did you have in your city that day, they don't know. They'll be like, none
Mhm.
that we could know of. And so it'd be like asking, a certain part of your immune system, do you hate corn? They'd be like, no, but another part might like hate it voraciously. So, or viciously. So
That's helpful. Thank you.
yeah. I'm here. Let's break down the science, make things make sense. They all make sense. And thankfully, the blueprint is built in such a way you don't even have to technically understand all of it. If you just do it, it still works. So,
Okay. Allison, I have a question.
yeah.
So if we go through a detox and let's say I get a headache, can I take some medication for a headache?
You could. I do give you protocols in the Better Belly Blueprint to help with that. So it
Mhm.
sounds like you're familiar with the idea that you might do a protocol that can make you feel worse. The reason for that is because of detoxing or like
Yeah.
potentially die off.
Mhm.
For detoxing and die off, sometimes some of the things you can do to help is like help yourself detox more. So if you're having a detox reaction, you could take an Epsom salt bath or do a castor oil pack. I help prime your body in my module 3, where I teach you how to detox your body. When you prime your body to detox, doing castor oil packs and liver nutrient supplements, which you'll learn what it is when you get there. You're less likely to get like a die off and detox response. But if you still
Okay.
do, you can also take something called a binder, which is a type of supplement that helps neutralize toxins in the body. And I give you a couple
Okay.
different options. One's called GI detox.
Mhm.
So that's something you could do. I have clients all the time, like especially on the H. pylori protocol, they'll be doing it and they get a headache. And I say, take GI detox. They do, and the headache goes away. And they're like totally surprised. They're
Mhm.
expecting like ibuprofen needs, they need that to
Yeah.
get rid of the headache. Here's the thing though, if you know a couple things, say this headache's really strong, and anytime my headaches are this strong, they don't go away easily. Do whatever you need to do to make it work. Like I don't want you
Okay.
suffering needlessly. You're not going to ruin your protocols if you take ibuprofen or Excedrin for like a migraine.
Okay.
However, for your own like educational purposes, you could try the detox method
Absolutely. I'll
and
do
B, the
that.
GI
Yes.
detox first. But
Mhm.
don't do it if you're just like, I just can't be miserable today. I have a meeting. It's my granddaughter's wedding, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like if you just need to feel good and you need something is going to work, use pain medication.
Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it. Love it.
Okay. All right,
What kind of
ladies. So
Mhm.
when we order, it sounds like Madeline orders all the tests. Is that how it goes?
When
Okay.
you submit your order, your lab order.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
All right. I think I'm all set. Thank you so much. I
Yeah,
appreciate everything. I appreciate
yeah.
it, and I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. We'll be talking a lot more over the next few weeks as you are able to join calls or make comments in the group, Facebook group. So
Absolutely, will do.
any other questions for you, Tara?
Can I ask you one more question about the push catch liver kit?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have it.
Yes.
Been afraid to use it. I'm already doing the coffee enemas. I don't know why I'm afraid of it. I'm doing the hard part for God's sakes.
That is the
But
hard.
it is the hard part. Doing the hard part. But I'm gonna be on vacation next week. So I'm not doing coffee enemas while I'm on vacation. And from what I'm reading, like they kind of need to go hand in hand with that or
Push
no? Like
catch and the coffee enema. Yeah. Yeah. The push catch, it's expensive, right? I only do the push catch and the coffee enema at the same time to get the biggest bang for the buck. If that's once a week for you, do that. And then the push catch, it has like, I think 30 servings in it. So like it would last you 30 weeks. If you can do it a couple more times a week, or like say 1 week you're like, I have the day off, or I have an evening that's free, you can do the push catch and the coffee enema and do it twice that week or something. Like more will technically move you faster, but once a week is what I find a rhythm that does move people forward, and it usually isn't too ridiculous to try and incorporate into your life. But yeah, if you're on vacation, don't do any of it. Like,
okay, and that's not like, to just take a week off is not a big deal. So it would be okay to actually like, I don't know why I'm so afraid of it. It's so silly. I'm doing the hard part.
You're so sweet. I mean, yeah, there are things that we don't take breaks on. You're never going to take a break on going gluten-free. If you're truly sensitive to gluten, we don't take breaks on gluten. But there's other things that we can take breaks on. Like, we are not robots. We are flexible. We like, and even robots say your car doesn't need gas every day. It just needs gas when it's empty. So you can share in the Facebook group, Tara, when you do your first push catch and liver, or like the first push catch and the coffee enema together. This is actually some of people's favorite pastimes, is talking about how much they're freaked out by some of the protocols, or like how bad their die-off is or something. Like people come to me like, my H. pylori is horrible, and everybody then like connects with each other. It's like, yeah, mine was horrible too. Or like same with the push catch and coffee enema, like people will be like, yeah, I had such a hard time. So it's usually super fun. So it can be fun to just at least share that you did it when you do it.
Hey friend, I hope you loved this episode. If you've been a fan for a while or newly loving this podcast, can you do me a favor? Drop into Apple Podcasts and leave me a review. When you leave a review, you do so much. You help me know you're listening. You can tell me what you're loving so I know what to make more of. And you help others by boosting this podcast so other people like you can find the podcast too. I mean, it's a win-win-win, right? So if you want a way to pay it forward, just go to Apple Podcasts or click the link in my show notes and leave a rating and review. And if you want some more free stuff, just head over to my free Facebook group, betterbellytherapies.com/Facebook, and you can get access to all of my free support for you, including some Facebook group exclusive stuff like my podcast episode vault, where you can search the Better Belly podcast by topic and find exactly what you need to expedite your healing. I cannot wait to see you in there. Catch you guys next week.